I feel like I'm on the verge of being really good at everything and being really notable and famous and successful, but I'm just not there yet. And it's not just that I'm not there, I don't feel like I'm on the road there yet, even. And I don't know, like looking around at your life, it's very easy to see all the things you want, you know? Maybe it's a lot of money and stuff and nice cars and whatever material possessions. Maybe it's some like deep understanding, deep world-class knowledge of some field like math or philosophy or whatever you want. You want to be like just really good at it. Or maybe it's some ability in something else like a sport. I don't know. But it's very easy to look at those outcomes of people that are really successful in those fields, like the PhDs in something, and think, I know nothing compared to them, or I'm a terrible programmer compared to whatever guy. But comparing yourself to the final outcome is obviously kind of ridiculous because you're on the journey there. What you really should worry about more is like, am I putting in the reps correctly? Do I have the routine down? You know, am I doing the work? I don't care so much that I don't have an insane 10x developer level of programming ability. It's more annoying that like I'm not consistently programming. That's really what I feel like I worry about more. It's that I'm not getting in the reps correctly. And I don't know, like it's very easy to compare yourself where you currently are in your journey towards mastery of anything to other people. And I know for me, people in real life around me like don't really stack up that well. Like I feel like I'm just better than them. Maybe that's like my superiority complex, but yeah, I don't know. Why would I be wrong? I'm so smart. It's just like, from an objective standpoint, I feel like I know more than a lot of people. I put in more work than a lot of people, but it's still not enough. And comparing yourself to the people that are out there on the internet, which is a much vaster scope, you know, there's just so many more examples of people that are insanely over the top good at something. And when you compare yourself to that, it's not just like the ability level they have, it's again like, am I on the correct trajectory to hit this at that point in my life? Like, were they working harder than me? Or am I on the right track here? Am I doing everything I can be? And I just kind of recently, for, I don't know, the past month or so, except for a few days ago, I feel like I've gotten back on track. I've just felt like my progress has just not been what I want it to be. And progress isn't even really the right word, you know? It's more, is the routine set in? Am I putting in the reps? Am I programming constantly? Am I improving constantly? One example of this, right, is in Vim. If you're watching this, you don't care about Vim, whatever, just bear with me for a second here. I know a lot of the commands. I know like a lot about Vim just because I've read the Vim manual, but I don't feel like I'm a good Vim user yet because there are people that are much faster than me. And also, I know that there's some hypothetical like workflow improvement that I haven't put the pieces together yet. You know, I know a lot about it, but I don't use them in ways that I should. Like one good example is the marks feature. Everyone pretty much knows how to use it now. It's like if you're an advanced Vim user, it lets you just mark little areas in your code and then like kind of jump to them. And then there's also like dedicated marks that appear, like there are marks where your last visual selection area was and like where your last insert is. So you can kind of jump to those. But I never really use marks except for like very weird ways, and I don't know, I'm like doing some specific macro or something for the purposes of demonstration. And I can kind of imagine like a workflow where if you have the presence of mind and experience to look ahead at what you're going to do in the future, you could just be kind of leaving a trail of marks at very significant points and kind of keeping track of all of them in your mind, you know, and then you're able to jump all through them. Similar kind of thing with like the registers in Vim, you know, like I know how to access all of the registers, but I'm not at a level where I know like, okay, this is what register 4 is at this moment. Like if I could keep track of all the like little things in Vim like that, you know, the states of all these little systems, they could be incredibly powerful. Like people talk about movement with blink and stuff, and maybe that's like a nice shortcut there, but I kind of imagine like if you could really spend a lot of time developing not so much knowledge, but like skills in Vim that other people haven't really focused on. It's like practicing an instrument in the weirdest way, you know? But those things could make you a lot better than other people. And I don't know, this kind of dissatisfaction in general with where I am and just my process, I guess is what I should say. I've specified a few times. I don't know, it's with everything, you know? Like, I pursue a lot of different things, and not just programming, not just film. Like, YouTube is probably the newest thing, but, you know, I do a lot of different sports, and just, I'm one of those people that optimizes every area of my life. I just look at everything as something that can be improved, and like, I'm very progress oriented. That's what I enjoy. And there's so many things, and I'm not getting everything done that I want to. I want to be improving at all of these things as fast as possible. And I know it's like all based on like just having consistent habits. If you ever read Atomic Habits, which is kind of a bloatware book, but it makes a couple of pretty insightful points. It's like, it's much more about just doing the same things over and over again, and like having a consistent routine is what it comes down to, of practicing anything you want to get good at. And I just don't feel like my routine is there at all. You know, it's kind of all over the place. I just kind of like hope that I get work done, and that hasn't worked. Like, it's worked okay, you know. I've learned Vim, I've learned some things about programming, but I don't want to be like a slightly above ordinary, I get paid 200K, you know. You only get paid 100K. I want to be like very notable. Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means yet, but I just want to go as far as I possibly can. Yeah, what I always feel like is I've kind of lacked routine, and it's hard for me to stick to things because I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, and like, as soon as like anything goes slightly off the rails in any kind of routine I've set up, I'm like, oh, this is all just imaginary and fake, you know? It all kind of falls apart for me, which is definitely something that can be practiced. You just got to do it again. And another problem for me is it's kind of hard to schedule very specific things. Like, say you're going for some kind of work schedule. You're like, I want to do a 3-hour block of work in the morning and evening, and I want to do this very consistently, almost daily, you know? And I've just got so many random things that pop up for me, mostly because of like friends who have more like erratic behavior patterns. Even if I don't have like a super established schedule, I pretty reliably am doing some kind of work or research, and just for some point during the day, you know, maybe I'm distracted for a lot of it, but at some point I'm like, I feel this urge, okay, I need to go like read the Vim manual or work on something. And even if it's not perfect, like, I know a lot of people who just don't have anything like that at all, you know, and they're good friends of mine, but they're quite different people. And it's easy to end up getting pulled into random things that I don't really, I don't know, I would rather be doing work, but at the same time, it's like, it's important to have a social life, and I feel kind of weird just like telling everyone to leave so I can just focus really hard on something. I mean, some people would say like that's maybe what it takes in order to get to some kind of level I'm describing. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call to make in the moment, you know, because you feel like you're kind of missing out, especially in college. It's like, am I like the weird one for wanting to do all this work, for being so like uninterested in other people's things? Yeah, and I don't know. It kind of applies to a bunch of other areas of my life. Like, I'm pretty happy with a lot of the progress I've made in all different things. And yeah, I don't know, it's solid. But there's also stuff where I'm like, this is not optimal. Like, take social interaction, for instance. Some people like have said like, oh, you're kind of a social butterfly some commenter said that when it comes to like networking and stuff, talking to people. And I feel like I'm very average socially, you know, like I don't have social anxiety or anything, but it's not like it's like incredibly easy for me to go and talk to new people, you know, like I still slightly have to psych myself up. Not exactly that, but it's like, well, I guess it is exactly that. It's like, okay, I gotta go deliberately make an effort to learn some new people's names and interact with them. And it's not like completely frictionless. And yeah, I also like I'm not one of those people who can just go and ask people for whatever I want, you know, the implications there for everything. Like, some people are just very good at talking to people. And I know, like, I've thought about it a lot. Some of the people that I have a hard time talking to, you know, it's very awkward. It just doesn't like flow at all. I think a lot of that comes down to other people's fault at a certain point. If if you're not some weirdo, you know, if you understand the fundamentals of how to win friends and influence people, you don't even have to read the book. Most people are, they like subconsciously know how to talk, you know. You're just not like a weirdo who only talks about your interest, ignores everyone else. You're not one of those annoying people. If you're anyone who's like vaguely normal, it's not that hard to talk to other people. But some people I find are just like, I have an extremely hard time talking to them, and I don't think it's my fault at all. It's just like very awkward, but it's not like I'm a bad conversationalist. It doesn't work because of them, I feel like, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. There are also like, maybe it's like I just don't care about certain people's ideas, and if they have a certain kind of personality that's like a certain kind of basic, I just have a very hard time being on the same wavelength. I have like almost nothing in common with a lot of people. Like, I don't know. I'm very like anti-consumer, and anyone who's like into shopping or anything, like I just, spending time with them is such a non-bo. It just does not work out. But yeah, those are just some reflections on my current progress. I feel like I've gotten into a slightly better routine recently, but there is just so much stuff that can interrupt you, especially in like the modern world. I mean, you've heard all the things, you guys know about all the like productivity, your apps are distracting you, social media is bad, etc., etc. It's like you can get around that somewhat easily, I think. But it's still there. There's still things that distract you. And I don't know, in an ideal world, like I'd be perfectly blocked off, no outside connection, no Wi-Fi, massive work blocks, deep work, Cal Newport type shit, but it's pretty difficult to do that practically. Yeah. I think this video probably lacked a lot of structure, but whatever. The main points are coming across.